Approaching the second round of high school football playoffs this weekend, the Oak Leaf Knights look to pull off another upset when they travel to take on the undefeated Nice Panthers. The Knights are in their second season, led by Coach Chris Floyd, who says they like to take things one play at a time.
Coach, we have a phrase, we say win the play. You know, a lot of people say win the day. We say win the play. We're trying to establish a culture of consistency and intelligence and toughness. When you look at it was just the fact of, you know, trusting our guys a little more and continue to work, and it's starting to pay off for us.
More high school football playoffs on Friday, with the Bulls Bulldogs staying at home to host Walton at 7:30, with the Bishop Kenny Crusaders going on the road to face off against Godby with kickoff at 7. You can hear both games live on 92.5 FM and 1010 AM. It's 82 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention. Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime, prime time.
It's XL Prime Time, featuring Joe C.
And then he couldn't fire his glutes later.
Matt Hayes.
I'm not running over the Barnett Tower and heaving myself off.
And Leon Searcy.
Now you come across that middle, you have some meat on your bone.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Fired up and ready to go. College football playoff rankings, week 3 of the CFP rankings. And they didn't necessarily stay in step with XLPs to the CFP rankings, but we will definitely go over all of them today at Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday. We welcome you in the 2 o'clock hour. It's ours. It's yours. We hope you hang out with us. You can find us on the stream. You can go straight to YouTube and just search XL Primetime or 1010XL and pop it on and jump in the chat. Or if you're riding around, you're working hard, whatever it might be, just hang with us. We definitely appreciate it because we got to talk college ball and we got to talk Jaguar football because Jeremy Fowler had an interesting thing to say with his piece on ESPN about where this team is at. And then Bomani Jones is one of those national talking heads that earlier this week was wondering why in the H wasn't Doug Peterson out the door. Well, we pretty much know right now that ain't happening. And I joked with you guys yesterday. First, I think Shad's going to make Trent and Doug eat those L's. But then beyond that, until they're 100% removed from playoff contention, Leon.
Is that where we at? That's what we're doing.
There will be no firings in Duval. At least that's a thought. That's just a thought to throw out.
What is the percentile rate of us making the playoffs?
I think
it's got to be less than 2%.
It's probably plus or minus 2%.
1%, 0.005%. I'm just trying to figure out because that could be the only reason.
-3.
The only alternative for keeping these guys around is like they're going to make some kind of run, which they won't.
Well,
they
won't.
We should really dig into that at some point. What's the mindset behind the and I tried to do this yesterday with Coach, and he kind of really didn't have an answer. And I think because he doesn't like to rip coaches, and I get that. I totally get that. But if you're 2-9 and you just lose 52-6. What does that say to the team, to the entire building, the scouts, the personnel guys, everyone? What does that say that you come in the next day and say, all right, let's move forward. The guys need some rest.
Guess what? This happens around the National Football League.
I'm going to coin the phrase, comfortable losers.
Yeah.
That's what they are. They're comfortable losers.
That is no bueno.
I'm just saying, what other explanation could you give the reason why there's still no changes made in the organization?
With that in mind, one of our new songs, RJ, might have to be Comfortably Numb because sometimes there's some Jaguar fans out there that get comfortably numb because they are tired of watching and feeling the pain. So you can make that one of our songs coming back, Comfortably Numb, which is kind of where they are.
But Joe, if you don't put somebody's feet to the fire, then what are you saying? I mean, players get canned all the time. They get cut when they don't perform well or whatever. I mean, do you lose that kind of game by that kind of score, and you come back and you have a team meeting and you say, you know what, we're tired. You know, I understand we're tired and we've gone through a lot this season, and we need to reset and refresh during this off. I mean, listen, we've already heard in the press of the conversation that he had about this team. So that's being said in the team meeting room as well. Who does that inspire?
It ain't inspiring.
And you just
anybody
lost
right
52-6. Who's does that inspire when you say, listen, it's been a long season. I know it's been a tough run. You know, we need to refresh and reset this bye week.
Yeah, and I think all they're trying to do right now, honestly,
make me sick.
I know, but it's like if you were dealing with it, right, and you're the leader, I'm not even saying that you would lead this way, but if you were, you run out of things to say. And he's just basically saying this team's – and look, all of what Doug Peterson said, I disagree with just like you guys did. I'm not trying to make excuses or defend it, but he's running out of stuff to say. He's just like saying, hey, they need to – it's the classic line, want to get away. And they just want to shut that bad boy down for a second, hit the reset, and then come back and hope. They're going up against teams, 5 of the last 6 have losing records. They're going to see Tennessee twice. They're going to see Texans here, a chance to compete with them. Indy up there, Vegas loser, Jets loser.
So do they think that moving forward after this bye, that they're going to be favored in any of these games?
No, they're right there.
They should not be the favorites in any of these games.
No, but we got to get back to the crux of this. What will change if there is a change? That's what maybe Shad is arriving at. If I blow Doug Peterson out of the water and I appoint Mike McCoy or Chris Richard or whomever as the interim head coach, does anything change? Well, I brought up the point to you guys yesterday. Special teams coach for the New Orleans Saints made a change. They went from losing 7 in a row to winning 2 in a row, so it can happen.
Well, I mean, what it does is it sends a shockwave in the locker room that this losing would not be tolerated, and you could be the next one to go. Yeah. We firing coaches,
I get
and
that.
we're getting rid of players. Play better, or you're gone.
I do get that, but you've been on successful teams your entire career.
Thank God, yes.
Yeah, so you've not had to deal with this. But players with a limited roster, if they're playing well, they're secure. They know they're going to have an NFL team to play on. It may not be here, but they know they're going to have an NFL team to play on. The other ones that aren't playing up to snuff, no, they're going to be they're already put on watch, right?
Well, yeah.
Let me just tell you this: you're looking at it backward.
Mm-hmm.
Flip that statement you just made.
Mm-hmm.
What does it say when you don't make a move?
Well, I feel like they know change is coming. There's no way this is going to stay static. So
you're just going to let them play out this season and go 2-15 and not even not you.
Yeah.
I'm saying the general you.
Right? Yeah, the general you. Shad. Let's just say yeah. So I think all you're trying to do right now is figure out the best way. In other words, I can't get away from the fact that it's Doug's team. He's trying to rally and rescue it. He's not done a good job. They aren't playing nearly as hard or as sharp as they should.
I got news for you. Doug probably wants out too.
He does.
Doug probably wants out too.
Let him go home for the
That's
holidays.
so funny, yeah.
Just let him go home. Doug wants to go.
I think he knows the writing is on the wall.
He looks miserable on the sidelines. He knows it's not working.
I know, but what will change if he's not there?
What will change if he is?
No. Answer the question, not with a question.
We just did answer the question. We answered you at least send a shockwave through the whole building. My point is, what will change if he stays?
I know the conversation that's going to be had if Doug Peterson gets fired in the interim. Those players have become.
By the way, not just him. And Trent Baalke.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
Let's not let Trent Baalke.
Yeah, exactly. Those players have become mundane to Doug Peterson's voice, all right? Because everything he's preaching and praying for is not showing up on Sundays. It's losing, all right?
Right.
Well, interim coach comes in there, all right? And he may have a little fire. He may approach the game a little different than where Doug mundane talk may bring into the team meeting room. You will hope so. Right. That's all I'm saying. The change of voice in the team meeting in the locker room may inspire them to actually play worth a damn.
Yeah, and I do use the Saints as an example because they promoted their special teams coach and they at least turn things around a little bit where they feel a little bit better about themselves. I totally get that part of it. But you just have to get to a point where what will change bring? It's the result still needs to be the same. I'm going to give you an example. And I'd have to go back and look and see exactly when the Raiders made their change last year, but it was basically midseason. Antonio Pierce comes in, takes over. He's the interim, and they catch a little fire. They had to deal with a backup quarterback playing. Remember, they had to go through all the transition. They shut it down and basically didn't get the results that they were hoping for. Anyway, Antonio Pierce gets to keep a job out of that. Do you want an interim coach to now throw his name in the hat if there is any level of success, improve playing? They win 5 of the last 6. It's not impossible. for that guy to catch fire. And then what happens? Shad falls in love with that guy because the last guy that was the head coach before, or the last guy that was an interim, kept his job here.
Yeah,
let's just remember that.
But I don't think
they did
you
make
can,
it to the postseason with him, but he did.
I understand that, but I don't think you can go into this thing. I don't think you can look at this thing holistically and say, well, what if that guy goes 6-0? Then what? Well, if that guy goes 6-0, number one, he's doing something right. He's reached them somehow that the previous guy couldn't. That's number one. And number two, you can't look at it that way because once you fire the guy and put in an interim head coach and an interim GM, you're looking already for someone else. If the other guy does well, great. Congratulations. Love it. I hope it helps you down the road.
Right.
You got to find what works for you.
Yeah, I just got to believe if Shad knows what he's going to do, they're already looking.
Yeah, but I agree with you. The interim coach, if he goes 6-0, it looks good on his resume.
Yeah.
When he interviews, hey, listen, the Slappy before me went 2-9, and I went 6-0 with these group of guys. I inspired them. It gives him
Wait. Did you just call him a Slappy?
He did.
Did you just call Dougie a Slappy?
Well,
The Slappy.
I'm only saying that in reference to his.
Look how far we've come, bro. From 2022, from a fumble inside the 5 against the Chiefs, to you calling him a Slappy.
From Dougie Fresh to Doug to soft serve.
That's got to hurt you a little bit.
It does a little bit. It really is. Because I gave him Dougie Fresh out of love.
Yes.
It hurts a little bit. My apologies.
So honestly, that's where we are. And I want to bring up what Jeremy Fowler wrote because it is interesting. And at the very least, what he wrote sounds a little bit more like a clean sweep could and will and very well has a better chance of that happening than maybe other things happening. And that part, I think, is a huge positive for all of Duval because a lot of people don't just want to see one guy bounced. They want to see more than one guy bounced. And that definitely makes, I think, for a much better conversation. And I don't blame Shad if he's going to wait a little bit longer and not go over the ropes to make this happen and try and send this crazy message because it won't necessarily solve everything.
Well, I mean,
right
we're thinking that he's keeping them around because they've got a weaker schedule towards the end, and they may turn the table, which I doubt. My good friend John McGuire just sent me this Pro Football Network's playoff predictor.
Okay.
All right. The Jaguars have a 0.6% chance to make the playoffs.
Okay, there you go. 0.6.
0.6.
So there's a chance.
Yeah. And
So you're telling me.
And to win the AFC South, they have a 0.4% chance to win the AFC South.
Yeah. That's not very good.
Yeah.
That's not
Let
very
that
good.
marinate real quick.
Yeah.
Let it marinate.
And so that, honestly, I think we all know not only is the end near for at least one, maybe two big names in that building, but they've got to figure out how to get out of this rat's nest that they find themselves in. Okay? So let me just at least read it real quick, and then we're going to get ready to say hello to Bomani Jones because he's one of the guys who had one of the loud voices nationally on this. This is Jeremy Fowler, ESPN, and he puts it out there. Early in the week, everyone expected a firing to take place. It did not. And then he has done his reporting. He's one of those guys that does a pretty good job, a lot of contacts. He said, open-ended question here. Even if Doug Peterson were spared, would he be asked to fire coordinators? And he goes down the line where Doug would not fire coordinators up in Philadelphia, and that ultimately may have cost him his job there. So he finishes his thought with, the prevailing theme from people I've talked to around the league is that Jacksonville will have little choice but to completely reset in the offseason and move on from both. He's referring to, of course, the general manager and the head coach. He writes, some within the team believe Peterson has not lost the locker room and the back end of the schedule is manageable, 5 of 6 opponents currently holding a losing record. But that's probably too much optimism for this situation. This season has been a strain. Though players were trying to stay upbeat through film sessions Monday, this is Jeremy Fowler's quote, attributing it to a team source, there is talent here, but you have to make plays in this league, and we aren't making them. And so he is basically saying his gut from the people he talks to, a complete reset, both gone. Now, I would wait. I wouldn't need to do anything right now to make sure that both were gone at the end, that Shad wanted to see everything he needed to see and then made his decision to get both out.
Yeah, but don't tease me, though. Don't.
I know.
Wait.
I know.
Don't tease me.
Here's another thing, too. this whole narrative that the back end of the schedule is manageable. Mm-hmm. You're the worst team in the league. What does that even mean? Well, you're the worst team in the league, which they are right now. Okay, what? I'm not yelling at you. Yeah. I'm just saying in general. You think you're going to manage a schedule against other teams that are better than you?
No, I think anybody is saying what could happen at the end. You don't necessarily want to run this guy out before that if you have to plug another guy in. There are bad teams on the schedule playing this bad team. So it is a bit of a toss-up between the Jets, between the Titans twice, and the Colts, and the Vegas Raiders.
I mean, the Colts could still win the division.
Yes, but I'm using the Raiders, 2 Titans games, and the Jets.
All right.
Teams with losing records.
I'm telling you right now, they're worse than all those teams.
I'm not going to argue with you, but I know that they suck as well. I do know they suck. And I'm not even trying to make
Are we back to Jag versus Jag?
No,
Jag on Jag?
I'm not even trying to make an argument that would propel Doug into keeping his job. I'm not there at all. I'm just trying to explain what the people are reporting and why they're just sitting back, not sitting on their hands, just sitting back and doing their homework on what the next step is. There's no rush to do it right now.
The team that I saw on Sunday, see, to me, there is a rush to do it now. Mm-hmm. The team that I saw on Sunday gave up, quit. Okay? So the reason why there's a rush to do it is because at some point, someone in that building has to be shown, look, this is not what we want, okay? Mm-hmm. This is not acceptable. There's got to be responsibility held somewhere for a team that, quote unquote, was the most talented team ever in the history of the franchise, which I know it wasn't, bro. I'm just saying. Yeah. All right? There's got to be accountability somewhere for anyone. Fire the DC. Right. Someone.
Oh, yeah. All I'm saying is I think that accountability is coming. That's what I'm hoping for. I think that's what all Duval's hoping for. Let's say hello to Bomani Jones coming up here in just a second. We'll talk about this subject, little college football playoff, a golf club of Southampton Wednesday. We'll be bragging on them today with great opportunities in our Toys for Tots tournament coming up there very, very soon.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Get entertaining insight on Sunday's games all day Monday.
They came together as a team.
Sink your teeth into Dandy Foods Postgame Monday.
It is a game.
Makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff on 1010XL.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
Best Bet is number 1. That's right. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine have one-card poker, the fastest and easiest card game to learn and play. Play one card at a time, and the highest card wins even money. If the card values are the same, it's time for war, just like the game you remember. You must be 18 years or older to play. Learn all the games at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Leon Searcy here. Come watch the Miami Wake Forest game with me at Barley and Pie Brewing Company in Fleming Island. Kickoff is at noon, so come have lunch and watch the Canes with me. See you Saturday at Barley and Pie in Fleming Island.
It's Thanksgiving week, and Monahan Jewelers has the best deals in town with up to 40% off the entire store. Thousands of beautiful pieces are all on sale with fantastic prices on our entire inventory, including up to 30% off on GIA certified diamonds. We're your local family jeweler, so come visit us today and on Small Business Saturday for up to 40% off on diamond studs, engagement rings, colored gemstones, our designer brands, custom design, everything. The name you can trust in fine jewelry, Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Jacksonville contractors and business owners. Do you need chain link fence, commercial steel, or rolling doors? Frank Franchi here. Coyle & Sons has been in business in Jacksonville since 1927. They've earned the reputation of quality and specialized skill. Coyle & Sons are the ones trusted in Jacksonville by the top contractors, and they can stand on their reputation when you need almost 100 years of commercial contractor experience. So contact Coyle & Sons today. That's 904-356-4821 or visit them at coiljacks.com.
This is Hayes Carline for Sky Life Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at Sky Life Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. Sky Life Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332. Go to flyskylife.com and find them on social media. Fly Sky Life Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Our first contestant, a stay-at-home gymnast from Jacksonville, Florida. It's Gwendolyn Beers.
Thank you, Monty. I don't know who installed my air conditioner, but it hasn't had a tune-up in over 3 years. Am I cool?
Let's ask our expert judging panel. Judges? Oh, I'm sorry, Gwendolyn. You're not cool. Johnny, tell her why.
That's right. To keep your air conditioner performing at its best, you need a skilled technician to check your pressures, voltages, and air filters in the fall and the spring. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, our club members get 2 free visits a year to make sure that you are cool.
Can you tell me if my haircut is sexy?
You're better off not asking.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com. Hey, Googans, Hicken here from my friends at Beaches Dermatology. We all know summer's now gone, but that doesn't mean the sun goes away. It's Florida, right? That said, you still need to protect yourself from that bright sun. Golfing, fishing, weekends at your kids' game, or just taking care of the yard. Protect yourself and your skin. Beaches Dermatology and I want to remind you to wear your sunscreen. It's important. Holidays are also approaching, so take care of that spouse of yours with a gift from Beaches Dermatology. Call today or go online at beachesdermatology.com.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Hacker here. A couple weeks back, I received an invite. Not just any invite. It was to be the guest speaker at Awaken 180's virtual town hall. Every team member was there. The owner, Paige, my coach, Kate, and what seemed like 100 people from Awaken 180. My surprise? They invited me to stay for the full town hall. They talked client successes, company goals, future plans, you name it. There was nothing to hide. They all had one common goal of how they can help people better. It was amazing to hear, and it was amazing to see how happy and team-oriented everyone was. I mean, I already knew my coach had that mindset, but I thought I had the best one. Nope, they're all the best ones. That's the beauty of being company-led, not a franchise who often only looks at the bottom line. I suppose that's why Awaken 180 is now celebrating 10 years and has helped over 23,000 clients like me, Mike Dempsey, and Matt Hayes. See it firsthand while you're losing weight with the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Hello. We can wiggle it.
Well, let's talk all things sports, but primarily your Jacksonville Jaguars. Bomani Jones joins us now. You've seen him over the years on ESPN, now running things on YouTube. Welcome in, Bomani. How are you?
Yeah, we're good, man. How about you guys?
We're doing great, other than we can't get out of this abyss that is Loserville and Duval, which stinks. A 2-9 club. And the reason why we wanted to get with you is because it's a popular theme. A lot of people are saying, why has Doug Peterson not been let go? Where do you come in on that?
Well, if the argument from ownership is, well, what's that going to solve? Mm-hmm. Fair question, right? Yeah. It's just that usually when a team comes in with some level of expectation, like I don't think people expected this to be a Super Bowl team, but 3 years ago when Meyer took over the team, a big part of why he did is because this looked like the best opening that was available. A team that was going to have some picks coming in. They had the chance to take Trevor Lawrence, all of these things. Ordinarily, when a team starts the way that this team has started, where there was a thought that there would be something that could happen with the season, normally the coach gets fired because you got to do something. And if you had seen this movie happen already with Doug Peterson in Philadelphia, where he reaches a little bit of a peak and then it looks like everything checks out in large part because he's way too fond of his offensive coordinator, I would have thought that someone would have looked up and realized, okay, it's time to let this go. But they have not. You guys just like, okay, well, let's just try to get the number one pick. I guess that's a noble goal.
Bomani, I've coined the phrase for this organization as comfortable losers. When you lose a game like that to the Detroit Lions by 46 points when they score on every possession, and you do nothing about it, I mean, what kind of message is that sending to your locker room that you can underperform and still keep your job?
Yeah, like my thing with football, where I look at it differently than all the other sports, is it's not dramatic to say that football players are risking their lives to do this, right? Like it's not. If somebody tells me that, I have to acknowledge that. Like I feel much different. I mean, I hate tanking across the board, but I feel much differently about tanking in football than anywhere else because the stakes are entirely too high. And so I can't imagine strapping it on to play football and just looking around and feeling like, wow, we may not individually be losers, but we have developed, like, this is a loser situation that we're in. We are in a losing proposition, and nobody seems to want to do anything to make it better. That to me is bizarre, and it seems bizarre also in part to me because I don't take Khan as being one of those bad owners who doesn't want to do well or doesn't seem concerned. Like from this distance at least, it does seem like he cares. Like we've seen teams that have owners that don't care. This doesn't seem to be the case there, but he can't get this right for anything, and I just don't. I mean, I've seen some really terrible owners figure it out. Like remember how stupid we thought the owner of the Texans was just 2 years ago? Yeah. Now look at them.
Yeah. Bomani, you've been around the league. You've followed this league for a long time. Been around these players. When I say to you, Jacksonville Jaguars, holistically, what do you think of?
You say holistically, what I think of?
Yeah. What do you think of this franchise? Yeah, from 30,000.
So, like honestly, it's almost kind of there, like just kind of just there at this point because I think it's easy for people to forget what a splash this franchise came in with and how good they were to start. Like, I don't think Tom Coughlin's a Hall of Famer because of winning the 2 Super Bowls. I think it's good in the 2 Super Bowls plus what he did with an expansion franchise coming in. And so, like, I associate the first 10 or so years of this franchise with actually being pretty good and being strong. And then it's been, like, the last 10 years where it's just been inexplicably bad and not even, like, the fun kind of bad, right? Like, this is – like, they were – it feels almost in these last 10 years like they're kind of strapping up to be what the Lions used to be. But I don't – outside of that 2017 season where it really looked for about 20 minutes like they were going to go to the Super Bowl, it's just been so blah for this last stretch that, like, not even in a way where you joke about them, right? It's just like, no, they're just not good.
We're talking with Bomani Jones. You can definitely check him out the right time on YouTube. And when I agree with you because Shad Khan, I believe, is a loyal, trusting owner that's willing to part with cash and give people the power to go out and do their work. He just happens to have picked really bad people to take that cash and spend it. He's averaging, as an owner, Bomani, 11 losses per season. So if you start mentioning this franchise in the same circle with, say, the Clippers and some of the others that have been out there and mentioned quite often as just Loserville, that's the worst thing that can happen, I think, for Shad.
Yeah, I'd agree. And I think he also winds up in this situation where when you lose, whatever you do is wrong, right? Like it's almost kind of the definition of the idea. But he is – I mean, even with Urban Meyer, he was more patient than I would have been. Like I do think he's demonstrated a measure of patience. And one thing we say very often about organizations, if they do move on fast, like David Tepper, for example, who can't stick with a plan for very long, I think he's been right every time in moving early from something that he did. The problem was he just kept hitching his wagon to losers. Khan seems to be willing to give you a chance to show whatever it is, which is not the worst idea in the world. But how do you keep making the wrong guess over and over and over again? That becomes the question that he has to answer. And something I was talking to somebody about today with regard to the Jets, which is I am amazed at the confidence level that these owners who made their money not doing football always have in their ability to come up with football stuff. I don't get that for the life of me. Like, if I owned the team, I wouldn't really want to do stuff. I just want the suite.
Hey, Bomani, this notion that not firing Doug won't solve anything because the last 6 games against teams that have losing records. I mean, what makes us think that the Jaguars will be favored in any of those games that they play? And I don't understand why change hasn't been made.
Well, one thing, I'm not sure how long Lawrence is going to be out. So, like, maybe the argument you make is that whatever happens if it goes bad and you're playing Matt Corkle at quarterback, then maybe it's not the coach's fault, except you don't get fired because it's your fault. You get fired because it's your time. And regardless of whether or not it is Doug Peterson's fault, it seems very, very clear that it is his time. And I would think before now you need to turn something around. My thought was that if they lost to the Patriots in London, then they would have had to do something before they got back on the ground. But I didn't realize then that they didn't have their bye week until it was come around this time. Mm-hmm. Then at that point, I was like, okay, well, if you lose before the bye week, then you go ahead and you take care of this. If only the signal to the people who I could totally understand your fan base is being disillusioned, but just to let them know, hey, man, somebody cares, right? Like, somebody wants to do something. And sometimes somebody has to lose their job for that to happen, and I don't get weepy about that. Hey, the issue isn't losing your job. The issue is not getting a check no more. You're going to get a check. You'll be all right.
Right. Bomani, I'd love to talk to you about Dalton Connect scoring 37 last night, but I have to ask you this. Trevor Lawrence, from a national perspective, is it that they're wasting him or that he's just not that good?
I think it is a combination of two things. Like, to me, it's a very interesting comparison between he and Deshaun Watson, where Deshaun Watson to me was unequivocally a better college quarterback than Trevor Lawrence was. But Trevor Lawrence was absolutely a better pro prospect. I'm not that wild about guys who don't have great arms, right? Watson, before it all fell apart, was a better quarterback than Lawrence has ever demonstrated himself to be. And I've been trying to figure out exactly what it is that is the holdup there. He has all the tools, but there is something missing with him that I don't quite understand. I also think it's worth noting, all those quarterbacks in that COVID draft, none of them have made it work. I think other than Justin Herbert. The rest of them, it's all been a bit of a struggle with all of them. No, Justin Herbert's not even that draft. I want to say he's 2020. None of them have gotten it right. Trey Lance, I mean, he can't even beat out Cooper Rush. We saw Zach Wilson is already out of the league. Justin Fields is already gone from where his place is. Mac Jones is already gone. I don't know if there's something particular with the way that year went and everything that was associated with it, but there are always guys that come around and for whatever reason, they're not the dude. Now, I'm not a scout or a football guy or any of those things, but I feel like I got a good theory on this, and you guys tell me if I'm crazy. I think the most important skill a quarterback can have is the shortest window possible between knowing what throw you want to make and actually making the throw. And Lawrence is not a dude that hits that one like that's the Tom Brady thing. Immediately, see the throw, make the throw. C.J. Stroud seems to be really good at that one. I don't think Lawrence is the guy that has that. And I don't think outside of all your physical gifts, if you got that one, you can figure the rest out.
Yeah, and the killer here, Bomani, is that we thought Doug and Trevor that added up to exactly what you were just describing. And it did in 22, and then it's just suddenly evaporated. That's for sure. All right, real quick.
Well, it's also, hold on, right fast. It's worth noting.
Yeah.
With Doug Peterson, it did with Carson Wentz in 17. And then it wasn't like that ever again.
Very true. It's honestly, dude, it is a mystery because this guy's considered a player's coach, a guy that obviously is on the offensive side of the ball. I don't even think I think he might even be unwilling to call plays right now, Bomani. That's how this thing is kind of just boiled down to nothing.
And he looks like he's ready to go.
Right.
Like, you can't keep showing up on the clock with that look on your face and I keep letting you do it. You know what I mean? Like you got to at least look like you want to be here.
Yeah. Between him and Ryan Nielsen, and we call him Rick Nielsen because he was identified the Cheap Trick defensive coordinator. Both of them look like the Want to Get Away commercial. It is unbelievable. All right, real quick before you go, the right time. They can find you on YouTube Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
Yes, sir. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're on at noon, Monday and Wednesday, 10:30 on Fridays, and available where all 5 podcasts are given away for free.
All right, dude. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon.
No problem, man. You guys be good.
All right. And that is that look that I never thought we'd see.
Yeah, bro. I've been saying that. Just let him go home. He wants to go home.
I mean, Nielsen's got the same look.
Yeah.
I mean, the look on Nielsen's face is like utter, I don't know what to do.
Right. That look is lost. That look is sad.
Yes.
And like I said,
I think Dougie's look is almost like, I'm done with this crap.
Well, I feel like he's said enough to make you feel like he's not getting out of the player what is being coached to them. We don't know for sure if that's the truth because we're not there. We can't see it because for the life of me, I can't imagine that they're not being – Coach Campo was steadfast in saying this the other day. They are not getting the instructions that they need, particularly on the defensive side of the football right now.
Well, listen.
Not at all.
Well, listen, let me tell you something. The way Doug talks at the presser, the mundane talk, I would get fined in the meeting room because I would go to sleep. If he talks that way at the presser in the team meeting room. Right. That's that mundane, we need to do it. Man, come on now.
Very monotone.
Yeah, very monotone.
It's worrisome. Yeah. So we'll see where it goes. But you guys check in with us. Text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures 641-1010. We have a guest from the J Fund coming up here in just a few moments. We definitely want you to be aware of what we are doing coming up with that. But don't forget, the Golf Club of Southampton, they've got great membership opportunities. Matter of fact, when you join, if you're heading into 2025 and you're thinking about a brand new club, all the way up until the end of the year, you can join and you pay with the initiation fee. You're going to get a $500 gift card when you make the 12-month commitment, and you can certainly enjoy all the great things that are going on at the Golf Club of Southampton. You can call 287-PLAY, jump on the tee sheet, especially during the holidays. You got family coming in, just head on out. Treat them to a round of golf at the Golf Club of Southampton.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Yo, what's happening, fellas? It's your boy E to the T, and I'm going to keep it real. We could all benefit from a little something extra in the bedroom. Blue Chew can help. Now I'm about to tell you how you can get some for free. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. No doctor visits, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew ships right to your door in a discreet package. Not even them nosy neighbors gonna know what's going on. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredients and strength for your prescription. And did I mention the chewable? Just like popping a Mentos. And they're made right here in the good old US of A. Now you're asking, how do I get my Blue Chew? Visit BlueChew.com and make sure to enter promo code 1010XL at checkout. Try it for free and just pay $5 shipping. Turn that oh no into a oh yeah. That's right. Use promo code 1010XL and let your boy hook you up with some Blue Chew. Get your confidence back. Visit BlueChew.com.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about HardballCreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Ready to sharpen your aim or find the perfect firearm? Come to St. Nicholas Guns and Range. With a huge selection of guns, ammo, and accessories, plus Jacksonville's best indoor range for every skill level. They've got everything you need to hit your target. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, their friendly experts will guide you every step of the way at 4630 Blanding Boulevard or online at stnickguns.com. St. Nicholas Gun and Range. Gear up, shoot a lot, shoot better.
Now, the Hurricane Report. Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The Hurricanes, still sitting at 9-1, got to sit back and relax this weekend as they had a bye week. Up next for the Canes is Wake Forest at noon on ESPN. In off-the-field news, Mario Cristobal was able to land Hayden Lowe, the number 44 prospect in all of America, an edge rusher who was previously committed to USC. The Hurricane Report brought to you by Performance Painting.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
This Day in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 20th, 1977, NFL running back for the Chicago Bears, Walter Payton, rushes for 275 yards, setting a new NFL record.
Hey folks, Rick Baloo here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it. They do it, whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need these special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
Introducing Gatorade Water. Alkaline and electrolyte infused for great taste. Gatorade Water, always in motion.
Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. For the athletes who give everything, nothing beats Gatorade. The studied, tested, and proven fuel of the world's greatest athletes. Gatorade Water, proudly supporting high school sports on the First Coast.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Mia here for MyBookie. Our listeners have been killing it in a year full of surprises. MyBookie is the one book that's got your back. No fluff, no second guessing, straight up action. Does your other sports book pay out when you push on a bet? MyBookie pays you back. And if you're new to the game and not sure where to start, we've got you covered. Step 1, use our promo code 1010XL. That will double your bankroll with a 100% deposit bonus right from the jump. Here's a pro tip to get you rolling. The NFL teams with powerhouse offensive lines are dominating the run game this year, and betting game total unders has been printing money. Stack that with MyBookie's risk-free Thursdays. Why wait? That's right there, a new risk-free odds boost every Thursday. To find the bet, click the Bet Boost tab and scroll down. If it hits, you win. If it doesn't, MyBookie refunds your money. Sign up now and get your double deposit bonus with MyBookie, the best sign-up bonus for Florida bettors. Bet anything, anytime, from anywhere with MyBookie.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins. 354-5645.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars right tackle Anton Harrison was asked in the locker room this week about how physically exhausting it is to play 11 straight weeks of an NFL season.
It's tough. Obviously, it'd be tough for anybody. 11 straight weeks of what we do, it's hard, but it's what we signed up for. So it's not really an excuse, but it's definitely something that is true and something that we have to just head us by and come back stronger and better.
Harrison on dealing with the uncertainty of the coaching staff.
For us players, we just try to do our job, do what we told, and try to tune everything out outside of what we do in playing football, so whatever happens, happens.
Jags right tackle Anton Harrison. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
It is a beautiful Wednesday. It's XL Primetime. Joe C., Big Leon Searcy, Matty Hayes. We got RJ cranking things. And we just went through a lot of stuff that we're trying to solve problems. And people out there are wondering what's going to happen with your Jacksonville Jaguars. And it's all real. It's all real. But you know what's even more real than that, Leon? Is what the J Fund does on a daily basis, on a never, ever quit caring for people basis. And we've got a radio-thon coming up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, listen, even before the J Fund was started, I remember Tom Coughlin used to inspire us to go on a day off to the hospitals and talk to the kids and sign autographs and stuff like that. So, it's amazing what he's done all these years with helping, cancer patients.
Yeah, the great thing about Tom Coughlin is he doesn't give up. He doesn't. He doesn't. And it's the way he's lived his life is not just a great head football coach, but also a guy that is behind the J Fund. And we have a couple of guests, and we want to say hello to Zion. Young Zion is 20 years old. His mother, Courtney, they are both hanging out with us, and we're getting ready for the radio-thon. And I remember, Zion, you came in the day of the radio-thon on XL Primetime. Is that right?
I did.
You doing good?
I'm doing great.
I love hearing it. You got that big beaming smile. Now, just to remind people, there are a number of children that are diagnosed annually with cancer, and these families, it's overwhelming, and they have to deal with it, and that's where the J Fund steps in and does everything they possibly can. So you were diagnosed with AAL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and you've beaten it, right?
Yes.
Give everybody an update on how you're doing.
I'm doing great. I've been in remission for three or 4 years now. Wow. I'm in welding school, and then I paintball on my free time, so I'm doing pretty good.
That's good, man. Awesome news, man. Listen, first of all, before I ask my question, I got to apologize to Zion because he told me his age, all right? He's 20 years old. He's a Jaguar fan, and he's only experienced, 2 winning seasons in his lifetime. So I just want to apologize to you. I had nothing to do with it, all right? Before you were born, we were actually pretty good, believe it or not. We were. So
hard to believe now.
It is hard to believe.
And just to kind of give the history for a Jaguar fan out there, he was in diapers. I'm just guessing, Zion, in diapers in 05 and 07 because he was born in 04. So that he didn't have any chance of remembering. And then, like you just said, the run in 17 and the run in 22.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's a shame.
His mom, Courtney, is looking and she's agreeing, right? Courtney, lean into that microphone.
I'm agreeing, yes.
It is hard. But let's get back to the J Fund and the Radio-thon. And just from a mother's point of view, how special has the J Fund been to you and your family, and particularly for Zion?
J Fund has been just a true blessing to us, providing resources just for families, because when you're going through it, we went through it twice, Zion relapsed. And when you're going through it, the last thing you want to think about is finances. Last thing you have on your mind is the other kids that are at home, the siblings. And J Fund came through. They came through helping us with financial situations that came for us, and they also helped us with siblings. His siblings were able to go to events, and it's been wonderful.
I mean, what an inspiration Zion is, because, you say he went through a relapse.
Yes.
He didn't give up, and now he's in a situation right now where he's prospering. So I know you can appreciate each and every day, because that relapse had to be disappointment, but then you came back from it. So I admire you. I admire your strength.
Thank you.
Take us through that when you did have to deal with that.
Before when I had relapse. So when I had the relapse, I was playing football at Euler High School. I
breaking all of Derrick Henry's records and all that. Is that what you're doing?
I wish. But I didn't really feel it as much as I did when I first had it. So it did come as a shock. When I did find out, I was at school, and they had to pull me out middle of school. I was heartbroken, of course. Yeah. But I think the next day is when I started treatment for the second go round. So,
Mom, what was it like when you found out? Yeah.
Well, of
You'd
course,
already been through it.
The famous Dr. Joyce had they called me, and I ended up having to pull over on the side of the road, and they just, told me that he unfortunately relapsed and that they need to start treatment ASAP. J Fund reached out, Rita reached out when he was in the hospital, and they were just there for us. When I say they provided us with meals, they provided us with gas cards, they provided us with so many resources that I didn't have to stress the second time around. Like, it was actually just a peaceful situation, to be honest. I know that's hard, but they made it easy for us.
I think peaceful is a good way to describe it, because the second time you have more answers, you have more of a support system, you know who you can rely on, who you can trust.
Yes.
Those are all valuable.
Yes, and I'm a very prideful person, so I don't like to ask for help. I'm prior of service, and so I'm one of those that I can get it done on my own. So, but again, J Fund was there.
It's a lot of strong mom.
That is.
Courtney right there, right?
Yes, my mom's my hero.
Yeah, exactly. And we all know it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The side story to Zion is that he's a big paintball fan. So you're a competitor. Tell everybody.
So basically, it's I guess kind of like airsoft. If anybody plays airsoft, it's 5-on-5. They do tournaments and all that. They have divisions. And you just travel for tournaments and try to do your best. You win like gear, money, win a lot of money with it. But besides that, it's just a fun thing for me to do. Gets me out the house and everything. So.
Wait a minute, please tell me you're wearing equipment, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I know those paintballs got to hurt. You got to be having on some kind of equipment, right?
Yeah. So
what would you do with the big man if he was out there? I mean,
I'll be an easy target.
He would be an easy target, but he pretty sure he'd be out there moving.
No, I won't.
Fast.
All right, now listen. As we say goodbye to you, and you're in welding school too.
Yes, sir.
So you I just love the storyline. You're going to be an underwater welder when it's all said and done, aren't you?
I want to eventually get there. I'm not going to be able to right out the back, but I eventually want to get there. At least try it. Give it a try.
All right, that's awesome. So just at least remind people, because our radio-thon is coming up December 4th. So we got a couple of weeks from today. And we know this is a time of family and everything. So just invite people to maybe think about that day and how they can help.
I mean, anything helps. Like you heard my mom, J-Fund, they help you forget about the bad and help you focus on the good. So anything can help. You can bring your family. If you are a sibling or a parent with a kid who has a diagnosis of cancer, then that is something you want to show up to.
Courtney?
Just call in the day of the radiothon. Call in, and anything helps. Anything's $1 helps. Just call in and support, because they really are a blessing to many families that's in the community that's dealing with childhood cancer. And they also support siblings. So the siblings do go through the cancer as well, just going through the diagnosis with their sibling that's been diagnosed. So a lot of people don't think about the siblings, but J-Fund, thinks about the siblings, and that's awesome. That's fantastic. So please just call in and help out as much as you can.
Well, thank you both very much. Like we said, we're inspired every single time. And if you can, just start to set your calendar. You can easily go to tcjfund.org. You can check everything out there. We say it all the time. We're talking nearly 100% of the dollars go to the families that need it. We're talking very small administrative fees, and there's so many generous people. So just remember, December 4th, the Radiothon. They're asking this year for $115 if you can. On average, 115 kids are diagnosed with cancer every year in Jacksonville. So it's one of the biggest causes for the radio station, and I applaud RGM and everybody here in the 1010XL family for what they do to bring awareness and help as much as they can. Courtney Zion, best of luck. Enjoy paintball.
Yes,
if you want the big moving target, Big Search, we'll get him out there if you want.
You set me up.
Bring him out.
You set me up.
All right, Zion. Thank you, buddy.
Yes,
thank you
sir.
very much, Courtney. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
All right, do not forget, December 4th, the Radiothon comes up, and it is such a big, big day on 1010XL.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. In every game, there's a guy who just makes plays.
He's their best home run hitter, an elusive generational type back.
Listen for the Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game. Experience the universal difference on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
It's the time of year all our customers love. At Garber Auto Mall, every 2024 must go. Take advantage of thousands in discounts on all new Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Ford. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
Septic emergencies stink. Get your ducks in a row, and that's where we come in. We are Duck Duck Rooter, the #1 septic company in the region.
When you're stuck, call the duck. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality products. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
1010XL's running game takes a giant step forward.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, and equal opportunity employer.
Hey, gang, Prosser here, telling you once again about Chad and Sandy Newman. Mortgage rates are down, creating more active buyers and sellers. If you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home before more homes flood the market, driving down prices. So maybe you want guaranteed no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. They can handle that. You see, Chad and Sandy can take every problem you think you have and replace it with a promise. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. The success stories are rolling in. Mike and Lisa in McCormick. We inherited a family home that came with equity but also a mortgage. We needed to sell fast to avoid extra expenses on a second mortgage. We heard about Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. Everything they say on the radio is true. The home sold in 3 days for full asking price. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com. That's ChadAndSandy.com.
Jags fans, looking for the perfect activity around the holidays? We've got you covered with the inaugural Teal Trot 5K. The race takes place outside Everbank Stadium, Saturday, December 21st. We can't wait to see you there. Your registration includes the 5K, a throwback Jaguars headband, and a ticket to the December 29th game against the Titans. Visit Jaguars.com/Teal Trot to sign up today.
The flagship station of the Jaguars, WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach, WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
When my wrist pain was acting up and I needed help, I took Dan Hickens' advice and headed over to see the experts at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. This is Stuart Moore with the PGA Tour. I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whenever you have a need, they took great care of me. They'll take great care of you.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Greetings from Daytona, where a band of dreamers took a strip of beach and turned it into a proving ground. The Great American Race, where year after year, greatness is the destination.
Drivers, start your engines, let's go!
So book your experience and soak in 500 miles of history and tradition. The Daytona 500, February 16th, 2025. Secure your seats now at Daytona500.com.
Southampton invites you to enjoy a round of golf and then a round with your buds, thanks to their game day special. Every Saturday and Sunday during the season, order up 10 wings and a cold pitcher for just $22. Plus, being a member at Southampton has its privileges, like a $500 gift card when you join with a paid initiation fee. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Twilight Golf every day with special rates after 3 o'clock. Don't forget Trivia Thursday nights and Music on the Patio Friday night. All at the Golf Club of Southampton.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Projax Roofing. Recruiting for the Florida Gators has been on the upswing since the Gators upset LSU. They landed a commitment from Termel Jones Jr., a local 3-star dual-threat quarterback, as well as a 3-star defensive lineman, Stephon Shivers. Head coach Billy Napier spoke on how the win influenced recruitment.
Winning helps recruiting. So I think for us, that game day environment, seeing players produce, seeing players improve, it's the final piece of your product. You know, I think we've worked on all the other parts of the player experience here. I think it's second to none. And I think seeing players improve and develop and grow into guys that can be some of the better players in the country at their position and have future NFL careers, that's important. Winning's important. And then just having a seat in that swamp when it's on fire like it was Saturday night, I think that's important as well.
It's 83 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now, the Seminole Point of View with Rick Baloo. Brought to you by Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard. Dream it, drive it.
Well, it just so happens I brought the truth teller up earlier today at lunch. We welcome in Rick Baloo. Into the night with Rick Baloo later on. Big Rick, how are you, buddy?
I am doing outstanding. Thrilled to be with you guys this afternoon.
I had to bring you up because I said he's all things FSU. I said, but one thing he has become is he don't defend, he rips. That's what he does. He says what he sees. Is that correct, sir?
Well, I mean, I got kicked off the Florida State Radio Network back in 1995 because of it, when they would lose one game a year. But I thought it was bad coaching back in those days when you lost wide rights and whatever the situation, would be. So I've always kind of been that way. And the way they're performing right now, I don't see that changing.
Well, Rick, unlike Jacksonville, who had a bad game and they don't fire anybody, Florida State loses to Notre Dame, and y'all have made some changes. Are you impressed with that?
Not really, Leon. It should have happened a long time ago. I mean, Adam Fuller was a guy that I thought he was in way over his head. And you can go back to that BC game where they ran north of 40 times, and you still had two safeties, 10, 11 yards off the ball. He doesn't make any in-game adjustments. I mean, I think of the adjustments Mickey Andrews would make, the short period of time that Jeremy Pruitt was there, the changes in-game that he would make. And then you look at a guy like Adam Fuller, you're getting the same old, regardless of the offensive scheme. Alex Atkins did very little. That's the biggest problem with Florida State this year is that they can't run the football. That was supposed to be a high point. That offensive line was supposed to be able to move some people. They looked the part physically. They've just been awful. And, I thought running the football would be really their strength. And if they could do that, then you could mix in some passes and they'd be able to put up some points. Ron Dugan's hurts a little bit because I know that he bleeds garnet and gold, and he was such a big part of that Florida State era when they won a national title, and he was kind of the blue-collar guy. But, let's face it, he hasn't recruited well. He hasn't developed anyone. I'm not going to give him credit for Johnny Wilson or Keon Coleman. I think, those are transfer kids. So he's developed none. You just look at rosters around the league. Look at Miami wide receivers and skill position guys. Look at Florida wide receiver skill position guys. Florida State has nothing. They have absolutely zilch, and that's incredible considering the amount of talent in this state. So I hope this is only the beginning. I would fire them all outside of Patrick Surtain, who's going to get a lot of overtures here. We already heard about Southern Miss. My understanding is that he wants to go to the NFL and be a DB coach. If I was Mike Norvell, I would make Patrick Surtain the defensive coordinator to try to keep him part of this roster. Everyone else, Bill, I would say goodbye to.
All right, Chuck Southern's 1-10. Not losing that game. It's just not happening. So now the following week, okay? The following week, Rick, I think it's kind of like a line in the sand for them. I mean, this is this is your last game of the season, your last opportunity to kind of like make a statement. Do you expect them to play hard, and can they win the game?
No and no. They don't play hard. And I've been talking about Florida now for weeks. Even in losing efforts, they do play hard. They play like they really care about Billy Napier. Florida State has not been able to get over the fact that they were snubbed. Mike Norvell let 28 kids quit. He let 28 of his players sit out of that Orange Bowl. And he brought them back, and everyone felt sorry for him. I feel awful for the fans because they stuck out their chin in their chest, and they took all the punches here. But those kids quit, and they accepted quitting. And they have not played hard this year. So I think the lowest point of Florida State's football going back now, 70 years, is going to be 1 week from Saturday when Florida goes in there and pounds Florida State. Even if they win this week, okay, so they end up going 2-10, and then you have signing day coming up the week after. I think it's going to be the lowest point in the history of Florida State football, even going back to when they were a girls' school and they started the overall program. And I have no idea how Mike Norvell is going to be able to rally some people and build this thing back up once again. It is going to be a brutal road for him, and it's going to be even tougher after what the Gators do to the Seminoles coming up in 10 days.
We're talking with Rick Baloo at Baloo 1010XL on X, and then, of course, into the night with Rick coming up later on at 6P. The chatter is that offensive coordinator, and then the news comes out. You mentioned Surtain and the possibility of Southern Miss since they cleaned house, and lo and behold, you got a guy from Southern Miss coming and watching practice as a potential play caller in Chip Long. What do you think about that?
You know, I'm going to be very interested in what they're going to do here. I think there has to be some forced moves by the administration, okay? You want to bring back some Florida State fans, have it be known right now that it is in concrete that Mike Norvell is no longer calling plays. You've got to hire the best offensive coordinator in America. Is it Chip Long? I don't know. This is such a difficult situation to try to figure out. Do you bring in a proving guy from a power university who's done it before? Do you bring someone who's done it before who's no longer coaching and is maybe an analyst and out there looking for work? Or do you bring in a young guy that you don't know much about, but, you know, there are high remarks as far as what they believe he can do? I think it's going to be a fascinating decision. But and Mike Norvell hates to tell anything about anyone. It's not only injury related. It has anything to do with his program. So, you know, I don't have to sit here and say, yeah, that's a great hire, or no, that's a bad hire. I honestly don't know. What I want right now, though, is for Florida State to announce that Mike Norvell take away his headset, make him Bobby Bowden later in his career, have him take a look at the other problems that are going on with this football team, like not being able to get an 11th man on the field on a punt situation. How can you not know to get 11th guy on a punt situation when you punt more than any team in the United States of America? Okay, you would think they would have that down. They don't. They call a timeout because they can't get a defensive guy on the field before their opponent is attempting a 55-yard field goal that we saw last week against Notre Dame. I mean, the coaching has been pathetic. So he needs to oversee it all. Take away the headset. Don't let him call any more plays. Bring in the right combination that can work with what is going to end up being a transfer portal quarterback. Norvell has totally blown the Croman Hawk Brock Glenn situation. That has been a travesty. He's going to walk Glenn out there again this weekend. He's going to walk Glenn out there again next weekend against the Gators. Everyone who watches it knows that Croman Hawk is the more talented guy, but Norvell is very hard-headed when it comes to these type of decisions. So, you know, the disaster is going to continue for Florida State.
Now, Rick, I want to. Has there been any peer pressure from the former players? Because I listen. When Mario went 6-7 last year, and they lost to Rutgers in the Pinstripe Bowl. I mean, he's my former teammate, but we let him have it. I'm just thinking, as a former player, that peer pressure alone shouldn't garner a 1-10 season, should it?
There's been some. the Marvin Joneses, the Peter Boulwares, the Corey Simons, the prominent ones, the ones who really played well there, have been a little bit more defensive, and they're a little bit more outspoken. Peter Boulware this past week came out and said that he hopes that Florida State picks 2 veteran, proven coordinators. We just talked about that a little bit. My opinion of Patrick Surtain would not be a proven coordinator. He was a head coach down south in high school and has done a nice job as a DB coach here at Florida State for a couple of years. That would go against Peter Boulware's thought. But, the criticism has certainly come from the fans and the media. It's come from some Florida State players who didn't have the accolades of the individuals that I've mentioned. I'm trying to think if there's been anyone that has really stood out, because I follow a lot of these guys and involved in some threads and some other things when I hear them. And as you know, it's always going to be private and in public. People don't want to put their names on a lot of criticism. But, I don't think much has come in as far as those who really perform well at Florida State who have been really hard on Mike Norvell. Disappointed in what has happened this year. But, they're smart, too. They understand that you can't fire this guy. He's got an enormous contract. I mean, you're going to have to deal with this with Mike Norvell. You hope that he's going to be able to turn it around with the transfer portal, because he's certainly not going to be able to do that in college football recruiting. I mean, this is going to be the worst recruiting class that Florida State has ever had.
All right, brother man, what is coming up later on tonight?
None of this. I'm tapped out, man. I mean, I am a tube of crest. You have squeezed it all out of me doing these Florida State reports, and I just, for my own personal psyche, I can't deal with it anymore. So what I'll probably do tonight is talk about something that's really positive. That's the Jacksonville Jaguars, okay? I'll be getting into that tonight and all that good stuff that's going on. And actually, I tell you what I'm going to begin with. I've been doing a lot of studying here today and looking at it, and it's great. This 12-team college football playoff, it is so messed up, especially after what Lane Kiffin said. I mean, I love it. Here we have 12 teams, and it's still chaotic, and that is what is so great about college football. It's never been a perfect science. It's always been problematic. And just that whole theory of if you're a 2-loss SEC team, you're probably better off not playing in that championship Saturday game, because if you lose, you could be out. If you win, you get the bye. But if you don't play, you just hang on and you advance, even though logic would tell you the team that's in the game and loses should still be ahead of you. But apparently that's not going to be the case. So going to have a lot of feelings on that coming up tonight.
I tell you, even Lane Kiffin stepping up and talking about that. It's interesting, that's for sure. All right, brother, we appreciate it. We will be listening later.
See you guys. Take care.
At Baloo 1010XL into the night. And that is a topic, because we're going to get into the CFP coming up here in just a second.
I mean, I like Kiff and everything, but the reality is he's talking about that. Yeah. Because they don't have a chance in hell of playing in that game. They need all kind of different craziness to happen over the last 2 weeks to even get in that game.
And that's usually when stuff like that is said, correct?
Yeah.
And that's when you're going to you might say that.
I actually think they're the best team in the league.
Yeah.
But I think he's saying that because he realizes they might get left out of the playoff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is when you start. This is when you become a salesman. You're going to stump and pitch and say everything you possibly can right now if you feel like you're going to be, one of the oldies, which is what we've been talking about, being on the outside looking in. Now, I needed to do with that right after Rick, because this probably would have had his hair on fire.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
As he said, whatever we just talked about, none of that later.
Right.
But Florida State, who's already had Mandarin's own Tramel Jones commit to the Gators. Now you've got a Florida State blue chip running back that is originally committed to them that is going to officially visit the Florida Gators. So we will find out exactly how that plays out. But that's just another one. And as Rick just said, trying to see if Mike Norvell can turn a corner and get some of these guys from the high school ranks to commit. You got the early signing period that's coming up sooner than later. In other words, like just really right around the corner before we even see the CFP playoffs begin. And you've got Byron Lewis, a FSU commit, that is now going to visit Florida.
Matt, is Mike Norvell going to have to pull a Dion and go out transfer portal and pull in about 30 kids because he can. The roster that he has now, they're replaceable.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what we talked about all along with that. Like when you build through the portal, it's like live by the sword, die by the sword. You can die by the portal too, and that's what's happened. Obviously, the fact that the quarterback, but they don't have a quarterback hurts. But again, he chose that quarterback. He chose DJU. Now, what are they right now? If DJU's playing quarterback for them, are they any different?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because
maybe not. Honestly.
Yeah. Oh,
maybe not. They could very easily be like 2-8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe 3-7.
Yeah. Just a very tiny.
But the point I'm making is
meter.
Right.
Yeah.
The point I'm making is he chose that quarterback.
Yeah.
And he chose those guys in the portal. And the portal, I say this all the time. The guys are in the portal for a reason. They are the unwanted and unloved of their other schools for one reason, or they just want to make a 1-year payday and get to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And those you've got to hit on these guys. And he hit the first couple years, did not hit this year, and then away went off the cliff.
Well, I might be a little insulting saying Deion because Deion does have Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
So he has the, he
a lot easier to do that.
He has to
And Travis Hunter.
Yeah, absolutely. So
And by the way, I love his comment. He said, I put down the kickstand and said he's staying in Colorado. Whether he means it or not, I don't know, but I love the way he said it. I put down the kickstand. You guys need to quit asking me that question. Move on. And it was great. But just the simple fact that Deion has gone from NFL Network, Jackson State, unbeaten, Travis Hunter, Shedeur, possibly the top 2 picks coming off the board.
And the playoff.
Yeah, and a playoff. Because he's not that far out.
You know, by the way, kickstands, you know what they're made for?
Yeah.
You can kick them right back up, too.
Yeah, well, it's very true, but I just love that he said it. It's always a cool...
That's so old school. I love it.
Yeah, I'm like...
It is.
Yeah.
It's temporary, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a good story. So we're just going to keep an eye on that.
You tell me if the Cowboys say, if Jerry Jones says, I want to hire you, you think he's going to go there?
He's playing the game so beautifully.
I know.
He's like, hey, Colorado, now you really need to know that I'm committed here. Let's see what we can do. Let's get something behind us financially so we can keep it going. Or he does move on.
Yeah, hike and pay. He makes 5.9 right now.
Yeah, not bad.
10 sounds good.
He'll
11.
get a bump. But real quick on the transfer portal, recruiting, and I'm just going to go ahead and make this up right now. Recruiting is the foundation of successful programs. You still have to go through high schools. Transfer portal is the Airbnb of building a program. You get a nice stay at a beautiful place, oceanfront view, and then it's gone after a week's time.
It's no different than NFL teams that build through free agency.
Same thing.
No different.
Yeah. It is true. Golf Club of Southampton, they bring you today's show. You can definitely enjoy any day of the week out there. Call 287-PLAY. Don't forget trivia Thursday nights. They got music on the patio Friday night. Their game day special Saturday and Sunday. Wings and a pitcher. You will love it as you're watching ball after your round, before your round, whatever it might be. And don't forget an initiation fee. If you pay that with your one-year membership before the end of December, they're going to give you a $500 gift card right back in your hand to go spend and enjoy at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Every team has bumps and bruises, but a major injury can shake the season.
Let me know if he's ever going to play football again, or do I need to find me another wide receiver?
Listen for the personal injury attorneys Farah and Farah Injury Update.
Jacksonville
on 1010XL.
I'm Chris Campione. In a world of big box law firms with satellite offices, there's something special about having a local legal team that cares about you and your community. We're not just lawyers, we're your neighbors. We understand the unique challenges facing the Jacksonville community because we live here too. At Campione Law, Campione Cares isn't just a tagline, it's our commitment to you. Campione Law, your trusted lawyers after an accident. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say, "What? Huh?"
I'm so over this.
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Call State Farm agent Joe McGee in Jacksonville at 389-3592.
Prosser here for Lifetime Flooring. You've heard us rave about Lifetime Enclosures. Now let's talk about Lifetime Flooring. I can tell you firsthand, the product, services, best in Jacksonville. As you know, updating your floors is one of the most dramatic changes you can make to your home. Call the experts at Lifetime Flooring now and ask about their buy one room, get one room free promotion through Christmas. 0% financing, available to meet any budget. Visit their beautiful showroom just off Phillips Highway. And as always, tell them Prosser sent you.
Hey folks, Rick Baloo here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
He used to catch passes for Spurrier.
Oh, my! What a great catch in the corner!
Now he throws opinions at Napier. Chris Doring, Tuesday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah on 1010XL.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Are you an experienced plumber or welder with MedGas certification and you're tired of being undervalued? It's time to make a move to Local 234 plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. With the best pay in the business, you'll earn $36.50 an hour. With benefits, that's almost $50. It's not just a job, it's a career that values you. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
Once in a lifetime savings.
No corporate jeweler does that.
Beard's Diamonds does. It's their incredible 44th anniversary sale.
Everything store-wide is on sale, up to an unbelievable 44% off at the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carline from MyBookie. Our listeners have been killing it in a year full of surprises. MyBookie is the one book that's got your back. No fluff, no second guessing, just straight up action. Does your other sports book pay out when you push on a bet? MyBookie pays you back. And if you're new to the game and not sure where to start, we've got you covered. Step up, use our promo code 1010XL, and that'll double your bankroll with a 100% deposit bonus right from the jump. Here's a pro tip to get you rolling. The NFL teams with powerhouse offensive lines are dominating the run game this year, and betting game total unders has been printing money. Stack that with MyBookie's risk-free Thursdays, so why wait? There's a new risk-free odds boost every Thursday. To find the bet, click on the Bet Boost tab and scroll down. If it hits, you win. If it doesn't, MyBookie refunds your money. Sign up now. Get your double deposit bonus with promo code 1010XL, the best sign-up bonus for Florida bettors. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
This is Walker Little of your Jacksonville Jaguars for Kingfish Pest Control. I've been a Kingfish customer for a while now and can confirm that their service is incredible. Not only do they protect my family from pests, Kingfish's office staff is the friendliest around. They even email me a photo of the tech before arriving at my home. Kingfish Pest Control is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Be sure to enter their Swat That Kick sweepstakes for free pest control for 3 years. Go to kingfishpest.com and tell them Walker Little sent you.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. If I know anything about the fall, it's hunting season, it's cooler weather. People need to get off-road. What have you got to offer?
We've got the full line of Honda ATVs, the Foreman, the Rancher. We've got the side-by-sides, the Pioneers, the Talons, everything you need to get off-road.
And you can trick them out with all sorts of extras?
If you name it, you want the loud stereo, you want the cool light bar, we got it.
All right, look online, cyclesofjacksonville.com, or head to the showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barr here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barr Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit barrorthopedics.com.
The time to buy an emergency generator is before you need it, not when you're sitting in the dark. Storms happen in a hurry in Florida, so be prepared. Protect your family and property with American Electrical Contracting. Call them today, 737-7770.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Who lit it up last night? Brought to you by American-Electrical.com.
Connect, gonna fire it up again. Got it! On fire! Connect 4 for 3. Another one! Don't connect! Same spot. Connect. Thought about it. He's going on it. He's going on its way. Down it goes! Yes, sir! Show off a little bit, Dalton.
It seemed like everybody in the gym knew that Dalton Connect was going to shoot the next shot, with the exception of a few people. The problem was that those few people were on our team.
That is a beautiful quote from the Utah Jazz head coach. Everybody knew it except for the people that were on the floor. That is hilarious. Dalton Connect going off last night.
Now, RJ, is his number 4?
Yes. Yeah, Connect
Nice.
4. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, and it's so funny because the announcer also said, and he hits again from the same spot. Like, you would think someone would run him off the line, but then when they ran him off the line, he just hit from further
Right,
away.
he just take another step back.
But look, that's what LA needs. They need more reliable outside shooters, and they're prospering with it right now. They got a little win streak going, but that was it. Who lit it up last night? Brought to you by American Electrical, America-Electrical.com. Don't forget, you want to light up your world, let them show you how you can automate and have all sorts of cool things happening, home or business.
You mean Bronny didn't steal his thunder?
No, it was
night?
not.
Oh.
They didn't have Bronny on the floor when Connect was connecting.
I'm guessing that Connect and Bronny will never be at the same press conference table ever again.
Maybe.
I'm just throwing that out there.
I think you're probably right. All right, so you had that last night, and Open Gym is always fired up. RJ, give yourself some love before we get to our Modelo CFP chatter. Open Gym is when?
Open Gym will be next Saturday at 11.
All right, beautiful. And that way you can crank out some hoop talk. As RJ constantly informs us, the NBA season is underway, even though we think it's still football season.
Listen, no NBA to Christmas for me.
All right, hit it, RJ, as we talk a little college ball with the latest rankings coming out.
Time to drop some college knowledge on XL Primetime. Brought to you by Modelo, the official beer of the College Football Playoff.
So we all watched. We all wondered, how is it going to shake out? And the College Football Playoff Committee, once again, Matt, has I don't know that they've let us down in any way, shape, or form, but they were expected to maybe, course correct a little bit after the previous week's rankings. But what did they do? They moved Alabama up further than they did Georgia, even though Georgia had an impressive win over a ranked top 10 team in Tennessee, and Alabama beat the hell out of Mercer. But I guess they still went back to the old theory. Bama beat Georgia previously in the regular season. Explain it to us.
I can't explain any of it because I don't think they can explain it. There's no way that you can explain the moves they've made right now in this poll. They have Texas at number 3 in the poll.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 6 CFP-worthy teams in the SEC, okay? Yeah. I think we can all agree on that, correct?
Yeah, you can include A&M in this conversation for right now.
We're looking at Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas, and Texas A&M. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Of those 6 teams, Texas has played one of them. Lost by 15 at home. Texas A&M hasn't played one. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So Texas is number 3. Texas A&M is number 15.
Right.
Texas, who hasn't played any of these teams. Georgia's beaten 2 of those teams.
Yeah.
Lost to 2 of them, but beaten 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia's 7 spots behind Texas.
And I think
after beating Texas by 15 in Austin.
Okay, so jump in.
So my point is this. Yeah. This is what this committee is doing, all right? The committee is doing what the old polls did forever, okay? And this is what happens when you have 4 retired coaches and 6 athletic directors on a 13-person committee.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they do. All they care about is how many games have you lost, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And how many games have you won? That's why Indiana's number 5 at 11 or 10-0. At 10-0, Indiana has the worst schedule of all Power 4 teams.
Outside of the top 100.
And 101 overall in the country. The worst. The worst schedule of the Power 4. But they're 5th ranked.
Mm-hmm.
They've literally beaten no one. All right? Then you've got Penn State, who also has literally beaten no one. Although, magically, Illinois shows up at number 25 in the poll this week.
Yeah, so they
out of the blue.
Yeah.
Just there's Illinois. Newly ranked Illinois at 25. So now Penn State has one win over a ranked team.
Yeah, they plugged them in. They did.
It's not just Texas. It's Illinois. It's Indiana. There are teams in there you're like, any sane person watch, and that's what they said. Ward Manuel, who's the committee chairman, said last night when they asked him, how are you going about your rankings? He said, we watch the games. So it's clearly an eye test. So if you watch Georgia and you watch Alabama and you watch Ole Miss and you watch Tennessee, and you're going to sit there and tell me that Penn State or Indiana are going to beat those teams, you're out of your mind.
Easy on the coaches poll, all right? They gave me 2 of my 3 championships, all right? So you take it easy on the coach.
At the end of the year, there was no debate.
But my point is, you get old school thinking, and they have old school thinking right now. Instead of the reason why they brought the playoff was, it doesn't matter what your record is, it's the best teams. We're getting the best teams in there.
And honestly, this is where the fight will remain, or at some point they can end it if they want to. But this will always be the fight. Yes, the SEC, at least in our part of the world, we believe that's the best football. We watch it often, we treasure it, and most people agree that that's the best football going.
I think everyone agrees it's the best football.
Most people do. And then you're going to have some dissenters, but then you have the Big Ten next, and then you have the other 2, because we only now have Power 4 conferences, the ACC and the Big 12, and they're all fighting for respect. The one main challenge is always going to be, is there fairness among all of us? And they want the entire country to be represented when we're talking about a college football national championship. Fair or unfair, that's what they're dealing with. And they're going to keep the conversation elevated with the Big Ten, multiple teams making it in, with the ACC and the Big 12 right along with the SEC. That's what it is.
Well, it's almost unfair for the SEC because they play on a weighted scale. What you're going to end up happening is teams like Indiana, unfortunately, they in the Big Ten they play 8 out of the 18 teams, right? Mm-hmm. 8 of them have they play some of the softest opponents.
You want me to read their schedule?
Yeah,
I'll read it to you right now.
Read
okay?
their schedule.
This is the Indiana schedule, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Florida International, maybe the worst team in FBS.
Easy.
FCS Western Illinois, UCLA, Charlotte, Maryland, Northwestern, Nebraska, Washington. The only team with above 500 record on their schedule is Washington, 6-4. Michigan State, Michigan, now Ohio State, and then Purdue to finish the season.
It's awful. That's why it is outside of the top 100. The strength of record does mean something.
Now, to their defense, Michigan State and Michigan are typically pretty good. Mm-hmm. All right. But Washington was added to the league because they're typically pretty good, even though they just lost their coach to Alabama. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of hitting the league on a down year. But that doesn't mean you automatically just say, okay, well, those guys should be good, but they're not.
Yeah, you're not voting on logos.
No, you're voting on like who they're playing and what the team's record of who they're playing.
So Georgia's argument is that they're just barely moving up, and Kirby, after the win over Tennessee, took a big swipe at the committee, and I don't blame him at all. And if you look at the numbers, the strength of record rank is second for the Bulldogs. FPI rank is top 5. Strength of schedule, when you take a look at it, there's all these different metrics that they add up, but strength of record is second, strength of schedule is first. Game control, we learned that phrase a few years back.
Remember
it's
that?
Top 10.
Game control.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
And by the way, they were not in control of the game against Alabama, and then they came surging back and they almost flipped the script, but they did not. And then they were down in this game against Tennessee, and they 100% flipped the script. They wrote the script against Texas, so they've definitely had some game control. So any other ones that jumped out at you, Big Sirs, as far as just what you saw from this whole deal? Because, all right, how about this? If you take a look at the proposed games that are coming, and this is, I like this as far as the numbers, but they're in danger of having these heralded games that everyone's looking forward to. The first round of the college football playoff, where apparently the entire nation, all eyes will be on it and people are going to go crazy. BYU at Ohio State with a 21-point line. That's one of the futures right now. Hard Rock.bet. You can take a look. BYU at OSU, 21 points. Georgia at Penn State, a 15-point line. Ole Miss.
Wait, stop. Georgia, which is number 10 right now, right? 10 or 9?
11 versus 6.
Okay, Georgia's 11.
Yeah.
And Penn State is 6, but Penn State is really 4th overall.
And
there's what's the line on that?
15-point dog.
In Happy Valley.
Yeah, 15-point
Which
dog.
kind of tells you this committee. Okay,
Yeah.
that in and of itself tells you the committee, right?
But it
there.
also tells you the danger of some of these games. Okay, I don't know whether that score would be that or
that
not.
also could be a snow game, and then it's a different game for Georgia at that point.
I do think that one part of this that they want America to watch is to see these new environments and the new...
See the SEC deal with a little cold weather. Yeah. Like Notre Dame's going to host a game, too.
If Indiana stays alive, we don't know what will happen against Buckeye Nation coming up on Saturday, but they would be a 15-point dog at home to Ole Miss. That's where we are. Notre Dame.
15-point home dog to Ole Miss?
Yeah, and Notre Dame would host Bama, and they would have the same underdog number next to their name.
15?
15.
Oh, my gosh.
You got to love it, man. You got to love it.
See, that's how bad that committee is.
So Alabama
Seriously.
got rewarded for playing Mercer, and Miami got penalized for having an off week.
Yeah, but we're still at 4. I'm comfortable with that.
So you're okay with that?
I'm all right.
Plus, bro, not for nothing. I mean,
we're at 3.
I mean, we went over Indiana's schedule. I mean, do we really want to go over your schedule right now?
Well, listen, first of all, let me just go, before you go over my schedule,
Don't
all right?
go over it yet,
No.
because we got to go, but go ahead.
Before you go over my schedule, when we played Florida, they were ranked, and we played Louisville, they were ranked.
Florida was
go
not
ahead.
ranked.
They were.
They weren't.
They were 25th.
They weren't ranked. Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. They weren't ranked.
Okay, in my mind, they were.
In fact, you haven't played one team yet this season that's been ranked when you played them.
Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville was
they
ranked,
weren't.
and then they got... Yeah,
they weren't. I'm looking at it right now. They weren't ranked.
They may not be ranked now.
Yeah, exactly. Weren't they?
It is XL Primetime. Your reactions, you guys can hit them before we're done. 641-1010.
Riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Joe C. for Roland Reich Plumbing, local company that has been doing the right way business for a long time. And I mean that when I say it, the right way business. My dad taught me a long time ago, you always have time to do it over, but never time to do it right the first time. And that was a tough lesson for me to learn. Well, Roland Reich Plumbing, they don't have to put you through that torture. They can get it done right the first time. All you got to do is call them, and they'll take it from there. PlumbingJacksonville.com. You can log on, and you can check out. We're talking about whole house replums, slab leaks, water heater bursts, whatever it might be. Just trust a local company. When you got a leak and can't wait a week, call Roland Reich Plumbing.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood's. You hear about guarantees and warranties. What is Underwood's policy?
Frank, to talk about guarantees and warranties, you have to look at our history of over 70 years in business. Underwood's entire reason for existence is and has been to offer fine products that'll be used with such satisfaction that both the giver and the receiver will want to come back. And hopefully they'll tell their friends about us. To do this means we've got to try our hardest to satisfy every customer. All of our people understand that. Now, I'm sure over the years we've made a few mistakes, but we've never failed to make good on any Underwood product that was returned with a legitimate customer complaint. Our entire reputation would mean nothing if we didn't conduct ourselves that way. Simply put, conducting our business with integrity is a lot more important to Underwood's and our customers than all the guarantees, warranties, and contrived legal obligations in the world. And you've got Underwood's word, my word, and all of our people's word on that.
Underwood's in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. Woolsey Morecambe is your MVP in the legal game. Our team of skilled attorneys tackle personal injury cases with compassion and expertise. With fumbles like a car or truck accident, we're here to seek the compensation you deserve. Right here in Jacksonville, we've successfully won over $100 million and earned a championship-worthy record. When it's game time, you want a team that plays to win. Contact Woolsey Morecambe at 1-800-WOOLSEY. Offices, Jacksonville.
The inflation fighter is back and saving you thousands at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Mia here, and right now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, just $500 down and $288 per month gets you a pre-owned 2021 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $500 down and $388 per month. You also get no payments till January 2025. It's all at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 20th, 1977, NFL running back for the Chicago Bears, Walter Payton, rushes for 275 yards, setting a new NFL record.
Attention sports fans, are you ready to take your game to the next level? Look no further than Best Bet. You can bet anywhere, but you'll definitely win here. Experience the thrill of sports like never before. With all the major games broadcasting live on our big screens and a menu stacked with your favorite foods and refreshing drinks, you're sure to find your winning ticket. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com. Bet anywhere, win here. Only at Best Bet.
I'm Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Hurricane season is here, and now's the time to think about a home generator. My friends at Ricketts Electric can make sure your home always has power. They can install the perfect generator for your home and are even offering a 10% discount this month if you mention 1010XL. So call my friend Zach Ricketts today at 904-320-5960 or find them on Facebook. That's Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them at 320-5960.
Homeowners, listen up. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Hey, it's Prosser here, and the Fed has dropped the rates again. The election is over, and Loan Pronto has APRs in the low fives for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans. If your current mortgage rate is over 6%, or if you're in the process with another lender, don't settle. Call Loan Pronto now for a second opinion. Lock a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. And if you act now, you won't make your first payment till February. This 5-minute call saves homeowners an average of $5,000, lower rates and lower fees. So get your Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. It's Loan Pronto. Call them at 904-999-1508, or you can visit loanpronto.com. That's Loan Pronto at 904-999-1508, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars center Mitch Morse on the timing of the Jaguars bye week after 11 weeks of the NFL season.
I think you ask everyone around this building, this bye week has come at the perfect time. I think the biggest thing is a mental and physical reset. And then we get to come out of this with 6 weeks of being able to just push and see what we can do.
Morse on the mounting of injuries for the Jags.
Football is a war of attrition at times, it feels like, and our team has been no exception to that. both offense and defense. But that's part of the gig.
Jaguars center Mitch Morse, courtesy of Jaguars.com. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, my takeaway is last night I'm watching the college football playoff bracket, be released, and I was saying to myself initially, you know what, Miami has been the benefactor of an easy schedule. I'm comfortable with that. So what? So what? Right now, the SEC is the toughest. And there's a battle royale of teams trying to fight their way in. You know what? Doesn't matter how you get to the dance. It doesn't matter what your date look like, as long as you're in the dance. So we dancing, baby. We win these next 3.
It's easy for you to say that when, your schedule's just as bad as Indiana's, but
that's fine.
He's saying it will get you to where you want to go.
Get you to the table where you can eat.
It will. I mean, clearly
get you to the table where you can eat.
Clearly it will. All right, my takeaway is God bless Don. I mean, what a great kid fighting cancer. Made it back from remission as well. I mean, it's just awesome. Awesome.
Part of the J Fund.
Yeah, part of the J Fund. The J Fund's next week. It's 2 weeks. Sorry, 2 weeks. I'm sorry. It's the best day every year at the station. So please give when you get a chance.
Oh yeah, J Fund December 4th with our radio-thon. And my takeaway is that the first round of the college football playoff, if it were to set up the way it sets up right now, bettors are going to be looking around and catching points left and right. I'm not sure this is exactly what they were hoping for, but you're looking at 4 proposed games right now that all would be underdogs of 15 points or more.
Here's the best part about that, okay?
15 points or more.
So Ohio State would get BYU in the first round, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the second round, they get Boise State. So they literally just have a free path to the semifinals.
Very possible. It is highly possible. And we will get right back to where we were, which is 4 teams. And even the semifinals then, when it was just 4 teams, had its share of blowouts. We had some good games, but we didn't have every good
But again, you never know. You never know who's going to get hurt. Seth McLaughlin, the Ohio State center, just tore his ACL. You never know what happens in games, man. You never know.
I'm not praying for injuries to
Nor am I. But I'm just saying
these games close.
I'm saying you never know what happens injury-wise, and you never know what happens. Somebody might have a monster game, right? And just take over a game.
Yeah. Look, I'm hoping that we have great stories when it's all said and done. I don't know.
Ashton Genty may have a huge game, and they upset Ohio State. Who knows?
Yeah, he's the one wild card that makes things kind of interesting here. That's for sure. And for the here and now, we're going to find out how much things change if Indiana gets worked by Ohio State and gets knocked out of that or gets knocked out of the conversation. Who might move into that spot? Who might be the team? Because right now it would be Ole Miss going to Indiana as a decided favorite.
Here's a little curveball for you. What if Indiana wins? What do you do with Ohio State then?
Well, they've got to make it to the championship game.
No, they're out. If they lose,
they would
be
out of the championship game. It
they're out
would
of the
be
championship
Oregon
game.
and Indiana.
They'll have 2 losses, right? So what do you do with Ohio State then?
I don't know. You could knock them right out.
But my point is, you've got the SEC team screaming about how they have 2 losses, but they're not being looked at the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden, the Ohio State's going to say, "Well, we got 2 losses. We're not being looked at the same way. We lost to number 1 and I don't know, might even be number 2 at that point.
They're up there right now. They're top 5.
Right.
Well, there'll be NIL, name, image, and likeness. You know it. You know they're a brand, bro. They are a brand.
They're not going anywhere. My point is, if they lose, that I can guarantee if they lose, they won't fall. They'll still be 5.
Right. What the selection committee would figure out a way to justify
5 or 6, I should say, because Indiana will probably go to 5.
Keeping them somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. We need to hit that right now.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is a sad day in college football. Okay, we just kind of tore through what's happened with the college football playoff, but this is kind of a sad day. Turns out that Central Michigan head coach Jimmy McElwain is retiring. He is going to step away from the game. It was told to me that he was going to live a life of swimming after sharks in his retirement, but I'm not quite positive of that. I just know that he's a fan of sharks. But here's one classic moment from Jimmy McElwain back in the day as the Gators head coach. Set this up, Matt, because this was
so. It's the end of 2016.
Yeah,
when the LSU game got postponed till the end of the season, and they had to play them. And it was the Hurricane, right? And remember, it was the Hurricane game, and LSU complained that Florida didn't want to play them. And,
right, and they were talking about
and McElwain was getting so upset. At one point, he was almost crying. And so they go play the game in Baton Rouge, and they stop Darius Geis on 4th and goal at the 1. They win the game. And he's on CBS after the game saying, "Ain't that neat? It's neat, man." He's crying. And then he got to the postgame and said this.
It just shocks me that somebody would question the Gators. And the way I look at it, they got what they deserved. And it should have been worse.
In the end, I think you kind of got what you deserved, and it should have been worse. Oh, it's so funny that we kind of brought them all together. That was McElwain back then, and then Brian Kelly this past week talking about he wanted to know the words to the Tom Petty song when they beat Florida. Classic. There have been some good games between these two teams.
Yeah,
I don't ever want to
rivalry,
see.
actually.
Yeah, I don't ever want to see LSU Florida. And by the way, Big Vic, not only does he owe me Boudin and some good gumbo,
nice,
and some good bourbon, he owes me all of it soon because it's the neighborhood bet. It's Gator Tail versus Gumbo every year, and he was all fired up.
That game is going away, by the way. I mean, they'll still play it, but it won't be every year anymore.
That's the thing that I understand. We move forward and all that kind of stuff. We march on, but it's not Florida, Georgia. I totally get it. It's not FSU, Miami, but it's still one of the great rivalries, and they shouldn't trash those. But it happens.
I agree, because we're purists.
Yeah,
we grew up with it. These Twitter babies, they mess up everything.
It honestly is one of the more underappreciated rivalries that's out there. And Florida has their share. Miami has their share. Unfortunately, the ACC hasn't lived up to its end of the bargain to make it to where, hell, even Miami and Clemson don't see each other during the regular season this year, which is just kind of unthinkable. But that's just the way that whole thing fell. But, yeah, you're going to see more Florida, Texas, or Oklahoma, Georgia, then you're going to see maybe some of these old rivalries. Georgia, Auburn. Georgia, Auburn will be.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But I will say this: when you and I were going to school, Florida Auburn was the big game.
It was the oldest rivalry they had,
and now that's nothing.
Yeah, that game had been played since 1906, all the way up until whenever they ended it, and so it was the longest running rivalry. It's just unfortunate. It's just the way it goes.
And when I was growing up, Miami and Florida was till something happened.
Till Florida ran scared.
Listen,
something happened. I don't recall.
Florida ran scared. That's what happened.
My bad.
There's no need to bring that up right now.
Okay? I thought we were talking traditions.
We didn't run scared, man. We got to play Georgia and Jacksonville. We need those home games. To this day, he says that. To this day.
That'd be Hacker. You can catch him later on. All right, we're done. Thanks to the Golf Club of Southampton. Don't forget they got great membership opportunities. In fact, you join with your full paid initiation fee, you get $500 right back in your hand in a gift card. Take advantage of it. Log on, check out what they got going on Facebook, and, of course, get on out there. 287-play, the Golf Club of Southampton. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Searcy, and RJ, we hand it off to the Frangie Show.
You guys wouldn't figure it out.
Winners get washed.
Yeah, I mean, we suck right now, so I don't.
It wasn't you.
No.
The way I look at it, they got what they deserved. And it should have been